Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Namofsky. Today's discussion, unlearning is the key to setting yourself free. Samra, before we went to the commercial break, you had said she deserves to be on the cover of the book. And you were talking about your publisher, correct?
Yes.
So I love the fact that you were talking about the fact that you loved yourself, because that seems to be a theme that has been going on through a lot of the shows on Empowered. I read your first book, A Good Wife. How did your personal experiences with trauma and healing influence the strategies you just shared in the book? Because you talked about the choosing the picture and what you went through.
I was, when I left my marriage and after getting some of my education and getting the courage to leave, I thought at that time that my biggest journey would be to learn the skills that I needed to move forward with my life, like how to pay my bills, how to find a job, how to fill gas in my car, how to network, all these things that were so alien and foreign to me. But what I've realized over the course of my life since I left my marriage was that my biggest journey has not been to learn new things. Yes, those were challenges I faced, but I was able to learn things pretty quickly. My biggest journey and challenge was to unlearn the things that I grew up with, the things that were internalized, the messages that I had ingrained in me from such a young age about my capabilities, my place as a woman, what I'm capable of, how to parent, what does faith mean to me. All these things that were instilled in me and my subconscious that were holding me back and still keeping me trapped, even though I was out of it. And that is what informed the journey of writing Unconditional, as a lot of us, especially as women, we grow up surrounded by these limiting beliefs that are instilled in us through all kinds of societal structures. And our biggest journey is to unlearn all of that, uncondition ourselves we can be free to be our authentic selves and just have that radical self-acceptance and self-love.
So I come from a Balkan background, and I was raised with, what will the people say? What will our neighbors say? And, you can't do that. And every other thing. In what ways do cultural, societal, or familial expectations reinforce the limits we place on ourselves? And how can we actually change them?
So, when we're born as kids, we don't have any of this stuff, right? If we are born pure as who we are on the inside, but as we grow up, we learn that don't be too confident, don't be too assertive, talk loudly but not so loudly, be ambitious but not so much that you come across as arrogant. It's okay to talk about your accomplishments but don't brag about them. Like, we have all these very conflicting messages that society, family, career, culture, religion, all of those things place on us, like what you just said, just all these things, right? So what happens then? We grow up almost becoming different versions of ourselves in different types of societal structures. What that subliminally teaches us is that who we are is not okay. Who we are is not enough. And being accepted and loved for who we are is actually a very fundamental need as a human being. It's in our psyche. It's a biological need we have. And also the other need is to be attached to other people, is to have connection. But when we grow up with these messages, attachment and authenticity, both of those needs are at odds with each other. So if I'm authentic, I will lose people. They will not accept me. So if I want to hang on to those connections, I have to be a version of myself instead of actually myself. And that creates havoc on our nervous systems as we move through life. It doesn't show up right away, but then when we grow up like that, and over the years, over the decades, we start living with all kinds of anxiety, depression, imposter syndrome, feeling inadequate, feeling like we're living someone else's life. So in order to free ourselves, we actually need to unlearn these things and uncondition ourselves.
And that's the thing. I mean, that's a very hard thing that we have to all go through. And I'm wondering, just listening to you right now, I've had people say to me, you're like an onion. There are so many layers to you. And every time
Absolutely.
I try to get closer to you, there's a different layer of an onion that I have to get through. And I'm just wondering whether this is part of the intergenerational trauma that we've all had. I want to talk about that when we come back. So please don't go away. We'll be right back with more.